Okay, this is just got this shipped 2 days ago, and I have to say that this thing's kind of a beast. Like, honestly, the damage output that this thing can do is really, really good. It's got very workable HE. Like the shells themselves aren't great, but there are a lot of them. Like the ship does fire pretty quickly, and the AP is actually really, really good. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, AP Hindenburg sucks because of the auto bounce angles," but you catch somebody out on the broadside, it just does massive, massive damage. It's really it's I think it's probably one of, if not the strongest cruiser in the game at this moment. Alright, so game starts. Probably just going to stick around A for now. The way I like to play my Hindenburg is that I like to conserve my HP for most of the game. Like going into the end game, I want to have at least 2/3 HP. So that way, if the situation arises where I need to, rush something down, or overcome an enemy positional advantage, I can trade my HP that I conserved for at the start of the game to be able to do things that will help win the game for me. Our DD, I don't know what he's doing. He's still like, in the spawn position. So I don't decide to go too much more forward than this because I don't want to get spotted and caught out broadside to their big ships at the beginning of the game. Just kind of waiting around for my DDs to get forward so I can actually spot, or so they can actually spot something. And it looks like our CV's actually spotted something. Unfortunately, I'm not in a position where I can fire at the enemy DD. Looking at that Minotaur because, if he does something stupid, I can punish him for it pretty easily. And I noticed the Neptune's being pretty stupid, so I immediately switched to AG. And just look in that direction in case he pops up, which he may or may not. But I have AP loaded just in case. And there, right there. I know there's no way he's going to be going in a straight line, so I actually aim quite high. Because I know he's going to be turning out. 3 Citadels for 17,000, not a bad way to start the game. If I'd aimed a little higher, I might have actually been able to possibly sneak in 1 or 2 more. Since this Conqueror is basically broadside, I'm going to be firing AP at him. It usually does pretty good, but I think that salvo just got a little bit unlucky. Splashed his deck. A little higher this time. Yep, 6,000 damage. Very, very respectable. Another 4,000. And I don't choose to fire at him anymore. Shimmy spotted, but firing at the Bismarck. Actually, that I probably should have been firing at the Shimmy. Thinking back on it. Even though he was kind of in a very tough angle to be able to hit accurately, it's always more worth it to shoot the DD. So, yeah, that was... I'd say that's probably a mistake. Me choosing to shoot the Bismarck over the DD at that particular point in time. Kind of waiting to see where the enemy team goes. Like, I want to head over to A to start, burning down the Missouri and the North Carolina and also putting pressure on the Fletcher. But I notice there's a large buildup of enemy ships right about B. And this is really dangerous because we have 2 squishy ships out front. And those can die really, really, really easily. And if they make a breakthrough, they can push through B and then surround my team. So I feel like the inclination to stay around B, possibly, just to help these guys out a little bit. Are down 2 ships, not looking too good. We do, however, pull it back. Unfortunately, I'm not getting... they're really not pushing into B too much. Looking for targets. This is a really uncomfortable position because their battleships are actually fairly spread out along an arc. So, however which way I'm positioned, one of their battleships will likely be able to get a broadside. And I think just using the last known positions, their Monty is coming around. Yeah, there he is right there. So it's just kind of, this whole situation is not too great. I mean, I am on full health, but, you know, that health can really, really, really quickly disappear. And I want to conserve it because I know it's going to be a hard fight. So Missouri presents the most logical target. $10,000 salvo. Looking pretty good. I'm just going to stay right here. I'm really not under any threat of any other ships. He slows way down. So fire a salvo. Counts for his much slower speed. 8,000. He's speeding up again. Should have probably aimed a little bit more forward. Better results that time. And this one, I think I got a little bit played by dispersion on that one, actually. So I'm also paying attention to see the Missouri's shooting at me, and I'm immediately turning out to minimize damage. He does get 2 pens, however. Switching back to HE, and again, I'm just trying to minimize the damage I'm taking from these BBs. Looking for shots on the Atago. I know he's not going to give me a broadside shot, so I don't even bother, even though I'd already switched back to AP. Since I already have it loaded, because I thought the Atago might have given me broadside. That's why I switched, but I don't actually have time to switch back, so I'm going to have to shoot at him, or else, you know, he's going to be out of my range. Fortunately, these ones don't do too much, which is definitely a bit of a bummer. He's shooting again at me, or maybe the Alabama. I can't tell, so I turned out anyways. Yeah, those were definitely shot at me, and again, I had turned out, so, you know, no damage done. Because sometimes you can eat some nasty stern pens, like, you know, take 10 or 12,000 through the stern just from 3 or 4 BB shells that are clumped up together, and I just like to generally avoid that. No point really in firing AP at that. He's pretty stuck. I'm having a... Oh, the ship in front of him just sank. I thought he was stuck, so I fired it like he wasn't going to move, but he actually, you know, was still there. These shells unfortunately going to miss, but our team should have that. It's a very, in my opinion, inconsequential miss. It's looking pretty bad. They have all 3 caps. I don't feel like going in over there because I know they have a Minotaur. Also, they have DDs there and a Montana who I don't have vision of right now. But I know he's coming around, so I know I don't want to go in on that. That'd just be a completely senseless waste of HP. Plus, this Bismarck is, you know, kind of playing right into my hands, and he's just kind of just pushing right in. So, oops, get some normal pens there. Kind of miscalculated my angle a little bit. So, I'm just going to focus on basically burning this guy down for free. I'm going to dodge these tarps by slowing down and turning out. Again, I just keep pounding on this Bismarck. Just try to DPM him down best I can. Ooh. You know, I actually thought he'd shot at the line because the line was completely broadside, but I guess he really wanted me dead for some... Well, I mean, I am the one who's DPMing down, so that makes sense in retrospect, but I didn't expect to have to turn out, so I did a little bit more pen damage there than I wanted to. And Bismarck is dead. Yay, okay. Right now, they are down ships, but they're up caps. This is very, very winnable right now. As long as our team doesn't throw too hard. Ha! As long as our team doesn't throw too hard. That's a good one. That's funny. That's so funny. Minotaur shell, as you can tell just from the arc. I'm plane detected though. No idea where their Montana is. This is a little bit scary. Um, Holy crap. Woo! That was really, really, really scary. I didn't think he had line of fire on me because I had that island. Um, but I guess I was wrong. That could have ended really, really bad. Like, that was an excellent, excellent shot by their Montana. I wasn't even going full speed. I was like playing with my throttle a little bit. But yeah, that was that could have ended really badly. That Conqueror, I can already tell, is tunnel visioned on our team, so I'm not too scared to show broadside here. Plus, he's probably just going to be spamming HE anyways. That's what they do. And I'm making sure I'm angled relative to the Montana so he can't slap me in the face again. Might have wanted to fire AP there, but honestly, HE was getting the job done, so I feel like I need to over to switch. Also, well, that was kind of unfortunate, but the AP can be inconsistent against battleships, especially at range. So I felt like I prioritized the consistent damage a little bit more situation because I really wanted to make sure he was dead. I didn't need 2 salvos where I only got like 500 damage because everything bounces or something like that. Hitting the deck or superstructure instead of upper hull. That'd be really bad. So now I still have 1 ship advantage. I'm going to start DPMing down this Montana. Was a lousy first shot. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty sloppy. Could have had at least 3,000 more damage on him if I'd aimed it a little better. Second salvo was good, 7 pens and 1 shatter. So I know the shells are coming. I'm gonna turn myself in. Hopefully most of these bounce. Ugh. 2 pens, not great. And I'm doing something kind of risky here. I want to turn out to make sure I'm cutting away instead of facing in. In retrospect, I should have kept going towards the island. But I check. Thank God he's not even looking at me. He's firing at something else. I get away with it. I should have kept angled in. Anyways, I got away with murder there, kind of. Shimakaze somehow manages to rush down our Montana. And I'm going to try to save the Ibuki here with my shells. Not quite fast enough. And he managed to double strike, or it didn't count as a double strike, but he basically just double strike them, and dev strike, you know, our Ibuki after killing our Montana, and now it looks terrible because they're winning the game. Looks pretty unlikely. So they have a very, very full health or not full health, but you know, quite healthy Montana, basically full health Minotaur, a Taga who nobody has seen for quite a while, and all we have is oh, well, there's the Montana. I'm going to do my best against him. But I believe our Lion is pretty low. And we are also massively, massively down points. And down caps as well. So I'm angled in. Oh, there's the Minotaur. Unfortunately, I don't. He's already angled out by the time my guns get on him. So there's no chance of me citadeling him there, basically. But luckily for me, he also doesn't have any vision. This is a mistake. I switched to HE because I think there's no way he'd be stupid enough to angle back in, but he does. And as soon as I switch back to AP, he's already gone. Ugh, that was that could have cost a lot. Well, it almost did. Given that, you know, I almost lose this. Okay, yeah, it looks pretty hopeless right now because they're almost full health. Atago is just running away. And or Alabama, while he's pretty healthy, he's probably going to get struck by the enemy CV and or burned down by the Otago. Also, he's a pink player. That's never a good sign. And just based on the Minotaur's heading, I'm guessing he's going to be humping that island up ahead of me to the front. Now you're thinking, I have German Hydro with, 5.6 detection. Why don't I turn it on right here? The reason why I don't is because I don't want to spook him. Because if I Hydro him early at 5.6, then he knows I'm there earlier than if I hadn't. So I'm going to wait to either proxy spot him, because, I'm going to make the risky play because there's really nothing left to lose. Or until his Hydro spots me. He thought it was safe to move around the corner. He thought it was completely safe. He thought I wasn't there because he was like, "Oh, if the Hindenburg was around the corner, he would have been German hydroed." But I don't hydro him until he hydros me. At which point it was too late for him to stop his ship. So that's kind of like a bit of an advanced, like, outthinking tactic. Again, that's not really one that you get to use too often, but in this situation, I'm just like, if I was the Minotaur, what would I do now? And I'm thinking, well, first, if I get German hydroed, then I'll just hide behind the island and wait for him to push around. But if I don't get German hydroed, I'm going to use the island to turn and make a run for it, because he must be somewhere else. Because, since, the German cruisers have this amazing hydro, if they're approaching a corner, of course they're going to turn it on. But in this case, I don't turn it on because I'm playing mind games with them. So now I'm just trying to save the game by rushing as fast as I can to C-cap, but unfortunately Alabama dies. At this point I think it's hopeless. Our only hope is for our CV to spot their Otago. Their Otago's close because he's detecting me. I'm like, CV, I think it's just pretty much common sense for the CV to spot the Otago, so I have the chance of, or to cow of, I get the chance to DPM him down or fight him or something. I'm kind of pinging, bring your fighters over here, or that's where I think he is. I'm actually really, really sure that's where he is. But instead, looks like the CV is just going to head to their CV's lone. Yeah, he's just going to put his, he's going to try to strike the enemy CV who's on full health, which is just like, oh my god, why even? And I'm pinging, send his planes over here, I just want to fight the Otago, that's our only chance of winning. And, he's just being kind of brain dead right now. So I kind of apologize. I kind of, what's it called? Flame him a bit in chat, but, he actually does end up spotting the Otago, so that's my apologies. And right here what I do is, I basically force the Otago to make a decision. I fire AP, even though I know he's angling in, so that if he decides to angle out and try to run away, he's going to get smacked by a ton of citadels, and I can finish him off with HE. But on the other hand, if he keeps coming towards me, I get to DPM him down. So I don't actually switch to HE until he's basically fully committed. The AP was keeping AP loaded, even though it wouldn't have done that much damage in that situation, was my guarantee that this Otago could not run away. And now that he's committed, like, I switch over to HE, because if he tries to turn out and run, I can still DPM him down quite easily. Yeah, our CV, I mean, I guess he helped. Well, I mean, he did initially spot him, so completely unintentionally though. He was trying to strike the enemy CV. Wasn't Shuttle trying to find the Otago. So now we have a minute left on the clock. I got a DPM down that Essex. Hooray! I'm going to save damage con, because I know there's a second dive bomber coming in. Have AP loaded. He is at an angle where I can AP him. Hopefully I can get some citadels, try to nuke him or whatever.
Problem solved, sir.
And that's what I got to do to win the game. So... I'm pretty sure I'm hitting his citadel area. I'm just not getting citadels though. Might be aiming a little bit too high. I'm not sure. No, I'm actually shattering. See, I have the shatter sign. So the one that actually did hit his armor belt instead of his spell armor, I was actually shattering. 22 seconds left. He starts angling in. So that didn't really do too much. 15 seconds left. I'm not sure if I actually get another salvo after this. Only 10 seconds left. And boom. I managed to win the game. So the really important outplay here, I think, in this particular replay, was the not turning on the Hydro against the Minotaur. Because I thought, oh, because like my immediate knee-jerk reaction was, I'm approaching a corner, you know, and I have this amazing Hydro. I can use it to outspot the Minotaur. But no, but I go and I kind of think to myself, wait, if I'm the Minotaur and I get spotted by German Hydro, the last thing I'm going to do is come around this island. So I just don't turn on the Hydro. So he comes out, not expecting a Hindenburg to be right there, and I'm able to finish him off because of it. Yep. Another important outplay was making sure that the Atago couldn't run. So I basically plink a few salvos of AP against the, or Takao, Atago, same deal, Takao, to make sure that he couldn't turn out until he was close enough to the point that if he did turn out, I'd still be able to get enough HE DPM on him to win the game. So, yep, Hindenburg replay. That's that.